So I'm recording, and I'm gonna jump straight in so that
Okay,
we
cool.
don't waste any time.
No worries, no worries.
Okay, so the first thing that we're gonna look at is Euro USD. We're actually just gonna look at the major pairs this week. So what I have what I have seen, my mistake this past week. Okay, there wasn't actually a mistake, but one thing that I forgot to look at was the larger time frame, and that made me lose out on so much. So concerning Euro USD, right, we're still having the same structure, still having the same structure, um, and it's only because our structure hasn't been made invalid. Yes, it's been broken, but it has not been made invalid. So I just wanna do what I usually do here. So uh, so now we have our channel, right? That is one thing that is confirming our bullish run here. Price reached our our support over here, right? But what needs to be seen is the fact that the reason why price ran so rapidly was because on the weekly basis, on the weekly basis, price has reached, price has actually gone and reached um, our previous broken high. So we had this high and we had the false break, but price traded low this high. So that makes this high still valid. And then after the gap, we see a bit of a retest, but it doesn't come into this area exactly. So price came here now, and then it just like rampantly shot up. So what we're busy with now, this is called a top-down analysis. So this means that we'll be taking every time frame into consideration, except the monthly, obviously, because it is a little bit too much of a drag. But the most important here would be the weekly, and the daily. So having having this here, our support, I just want to add in one more, one more zone, and this will bring about our resistance area for where price is on its way to currently. So after we had this low within the market, right, price just kept above it. It broke once and price traded above it again. And then it finally broke. It gave one sweet retest because it's just a touch and go. And then price hasn't been there since. Price stayed in this price channel, but the the most important thing, the most important thing to note is that it broke and it closed a considerable amount outside of our price channel. So if I go to the daily, to my daily time frame, then I will see on the daily time frame, I have everything in line for a a confirmation. So we have a clean breakout, a considerable close outside of our zone, and then we have a confirmation candle here. So for me, this isn't confirmation yet. This isn't confirmation yet. I think the biggest mistake that I made with Euro USD was I didn't wait for it to make another cycle on its way down. And what I mean with another cycle, let me just take you to the buy to the buys that we took. So um, the buy analysis for you, if you guys can remember, the buy analysis looked something like this, right? Now you guys might ask, okay, Idol, we knew the market is going up. Why be there and not buy on the first breakout? So the reason why, because um, also this is also a buy, and as you can see, perfect retest. But the reason why I did not buy on the first breakout was because these highs haven't been tested yet. So came down, it confirmed, yes, it confirmed. That is the most important thing. It confirmed. So mentally, we get ourselves ready for a rising market. The only thing that we need, the only thing that we need for confirmation of this confirmation is for price to come back down here and retest these. So price here and price tested our last highs, but I will be honest, I was a little bit too slow for this because as you can see, I have my high, I connected it to another high, and then I have my confirmation. So the first confirmation after this was missed. But luckily, I woke up here and I saw that there's time to enter and stuff. Yes, I closed prematurely, which was very stupid of me. But I would also like you guys to note that after we have at least one cycle of, sorry, of a 1, 2, 3. And by 1, 2, 3, I mean we have a one, a break, a two, a retest of the break, and the third wave is the escape of the retest, the runaway of the retest, the successful retest, right? So this was supposed to be the the entry, but we got entry there nevertheless, and it kept on running. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that the cycle for the retest was completed, and as long as it is completed, this this scenario that you see of price trading below the zone, then breaking and trading above the zone, and continuing to trade above the zone with a successful retest, that what you see there, that is conducive to a successful trend change. Now, if you look at the 4 hour trade that we took, there was no cycle. Even if you look at this on a 4 hour basis, you can see there's a completed 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 completed. But over here, you do not see no cycle. I think that was the biggest mistake that I made on entering Euro USD. But as you guys know, I'm not one to dwell on losses. What I'm rather gonna do is dwell on a way forward. So I have um, this general after this high, and once again, just coming back to me telling you guys in a few calls ago that you must always respect always respect the elder. Always respect the elder. This was the first area or the first time that after this rundown, this was the first time that price came here, right? And then a second time price came here as well. So the fact that it affected the second time tells you that here's an area. So after the second, it rejected a third, it rejected a fourth, and the fifth. So the fourth and the fifth, that was actually the two shoulders of the head and shoulders. So this is actually a really strong area, right? So for me personally, I'm honestly waiting for price to come back into this area, get confluence, because if you look at it this way, this is, I'm not gonna say a multi-year, but this channel has been running since 2018. So I'm not gonna say multi-year channel, but it has been running for a while. And because there is a valid area that price can run to before it drops, I am all for um I'm 100% for this bullish movement. So what I need from this point on, I need price to drop so that I can draw my analysis from the top to the bottom, and then I would need after that I would most definitely need price to give me a solid projection out of this area, because right now what's going for us. So reasons to enter, what's going for us is the fact that, or what supports our bullish bias, is the fact that number one, price broke out of our price channel. Number two, price broke our last high, thus creating a higher high. Number three, having broken those two things on its return down, price will find confluence. And whenever I say confluence in the market, please be aware that a confluence level is a level in the market where two resistance or two support areas meet. So over here, this is a confluence because we have our horizontal support um, coming all the way from here. So that is one. And then our second support would be the support of our price channel. So that is what I mean with confluence. And over here, you can see it's about to do the very same thing that it did here. And what I mean by that is there's two areas of support where price will, if it's gonna go down, it's gonna go till here, and when it gets here, that is when I will be starting to looking at price, or that is when I will be starting to look on um, on bullish movement. So when I say look for clues, that is normally me looking for candles that look like this that would indicate bullish movements, or engulfings, or a doji at this level. But I would not take that as a confirmation per se. I would just take that as a confirmation of price acknowledging this level and rejecting to the upside. So concerning Euro USD, I am just waiting for price to drop to this confluent level so that I can buy. Um, are we all together on Euro USD? Okay, cool. So um, the next one is NZD-USD. So NZD-USD did about the same thing. It came to a weekly support area it has been to before. Number one, it has been here and price shot up. And then if you look at it this way, price is here again. And if you look at the the weekly level, if you look at the candle that is on right now, that is a bullish clue, and this is some of you may know it. This is what we call a bullish engulfing. And the reason we call it a bullish engulfing is because you will find that the previous candle, the body of the previous candle, is completely consumed by the body of the bull candle. So this is a engulfing mainly for that because it swallows the whole candle. So when I say when it comes to important areas like this, and I'm looking for clues, for bullish clues, this is what I see. So just to make an example of the exact same thing, but just in reverse, over here we have a bearish engulfing, right? And when I say I'm looking at clues, this is what I'm looking at. So after seeing this bearish engulfing where the bearish candle, the black candle, completely swallows the white candle. That is not for me to enter right away. That is just for me to say, okay, Rido, the market is most definitely running down from here. We have an engulfing. And as you can see, after this bearish engulfing, price just continued on its way down for another 3,500 pips. So the exact scenario that we have here, or that we had here rather, the exact scenario that we had here, we are having here now. And it's not that we didn't have it before. So if you look at it like this, oh man, over here, we're having a basic alpha as well, where you can see the body of the bearish candle being engulfed by the body of the bullish candle. Now, this is why I say that this is just a clue and not just a reason for me to immediately enter upon the finish of this. So if I bought here my stop loss, and you guys know this by now, my stop loss, because this is the last low point I see in the market, my stop loss will be there. And if you look at it this way, my stop loss has been triggered. So this is why I just take um, traditional confirmation really seriously, because if you look at it like this will be where your trend line will come from. That will be the high that it's based upon. And if we can get a confirmation on a weekly basis, then that means if we can get confirmation on a weekly basis, then that means confirmation on this exact setup as I've drawn it here for you guys. Um, we had confirmation. That means that we had confirmation on daily and maybe on 4 hour as well, just because we got confirmation on weekly. And then after that, you can see it has just been a upwards movement. And this, all of this basically stemmed from this clue over here. Because after this clue came, that was like, okay, I need to analyze NZD USD for a buy now because price just engulfed the last um the price just engulfed the last candle there. So if I go on the daily time frame, and once again, sticking to me wanting cycles, I will see no cycle has been created on the daily time frame as yet. So I'm going to drop to the 4 hour now. And on 4 hour, I see I already have my one wave, and I see um, I see an area, a small area of rejection over here, or a place that could offer rejection. So um, I'm seeing a one and I'm seeing a wave two in progress. So when wave two comes here into this area of the last highs, right? When wave two drops to here, that is when I'm gonna wanna analyze the market all the way down so that when it breaks and it confirms that I can run with it all the way up till there. So another thing that is important to note here is that the reports that was released on Thursday was really so when it's NFP, right? Every Friday of the month. So if the ADP report, right, that is always going to be Wednesday or Wednesday or Thursday. But if the ADP report is negative, then you might as well expect a negative NFP report as well, because those two are related. Um, and if the ADP, it goes without saying that if the ADP is positive, then you can expect a positive NFP as well. And it's just that further drove the nail through our Euro USD coffin. So, um, what I'm further expecting from this, you might ask, that and then that. So a retest of the former highs, and then after the successful retest, a buy so that I can um, jog with price all the way up till there, if it's even gonna go till there. Uh, so that is my um, should say from NZD USD. The next one. Have you guys understood there? You guys, we are on the same page with NZD USD?
Yep.
Okay. If you guys are cool, then I am cool. um, okay, so the next one, we have old USD. So on the note of old USD, I have really, really, whoa, I'm at old NZD. Sorry. So zoom out and is there any? I'm almost sure that price here is deflecting off one of the highs over here. I'm almost sure of that. Hmm. Head and shoulders. This should be interesting. Okay, so price actually broke that. Let me go back there. So this is just normally what I do when I analyze. I always check for um, relevant points. Let's check now. Not even close, but price is in that area. So I'm gonna be done fiddling with price now. What is important to note, or I'm gonna be done fiddling with the support. I'm not gonna be done fiddling with price. I'm gonna be done fiddling with the support. Sorry. So what's important to notice is that once again we see a bullish engulfing on the last two candles. And for that to happen on a weekly basis, that just speaks to how strong price is going to be moving into the upwards direction from now. So for me, this is what I've got going on. And as you guys can see, this is a multiple tested level. So price came here once, twice, three times, four times, five times, and I won't count this as a six because yeah, it just closed below, ran, closed above, and then broke again. So it just like played tag here. There was no rejection like over here where price closed above the maximum support at the time. So for me, what I'm seeing right now is I'm seeing that whenever price gets here, it might just reject and fall. So I'm not gonna downplay the fact that um, price has been moving in a downtrend because that would just be looking for trouble. And concerning AUD, concerning AUD, the only place that I would really take um, buys serious is um, after this area. Like with Euro USD, we are really serious with Euro USD on the buy front because it just broke a very lengthy price channel. It broke the last high, and that is why also we are bullish. We have a bullish sentiment on that. It's because it broke the last high. This thing never, and when I say last high, I mean the last significant high. The last significant high of old USD, this is where you will find him. So for me to be any sort of bullish on old USD, um, I would need to see, okay, so I'm not gonna downplay also the other fact that I will be getting interested in price if it gets to this level. But what I would need for what I would literally is something like that, price that goes into that level. And as you can see by what's going on here, we can semi expect price to do something like this. And then so basically on this second cycle this is where I'll be taking a buy seriously because um after this break, like this can easily happen over here. So I'm not gonna buy on this leg. I will buy on this leg because if it rejects again, then that means for future price, this level will be relevant and established as a support. So right now, to be honest with y'all, this is what I'm looking at for all USD. No cap. This is what I'm looking at, but I'm not limited to this. I would also be open to what I showed you now with all of that, and then price moving all the way up to there. But this would be my first preference, seeing that um, we are at a resistance area. So, are we on the same page with all USD?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
So on the front of the dollar. So when I look at the dollar CAD, this is what I'm saying. As you guys probably noticed, that is my favorite thing, drawing lines on top of one another and going to go find parallel levels. So that would be um, a, a setup for me, and I think I have shared the prediction of USD CAD going into a buy. Attention to it. Hey, so for me, after this retest, the successful retest, I'm expecting price to go all the way up till here, and then once it gets here, that is when I would expect a downward move. But then, because of all these touches, because of all these touches, I would expect price to have the same energy. I'm expecting price to have the same energy it um when it got there, came down, will retest it again, most probably, go up, come down to retest it again, and then it will most probably break out. But for the time being, price has already done the retest. So on USD CAD, personally, I'm waiting for price just to go to there so that I can sell it from here to here. So I'm not gonna be interested in the buy. I will just get interested in the sell for for when it's time. So I'm just gonna wait until price gets there. We're on the same page with USD CAD. Do you guys have any questions on USD CAD? Or are we good? You guys can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, yes, yes.
Okay, cool. So the next one in line would be USD JPY. And this one is somewhat a bit of a struggle pony. So wait, let me just show you where this area stems from. So as you can see, this area comes from lost highs within the market, right? So price is really rapidly closing in on a support level, right? And then if I just give me a second quickly. So um, this zone is really, really important, especially the resistance part of it. No, man. Yeah, there you are. So after having this, sorry. I'm only realizing now I have the wrong low point. So this is just why I grant parallel structures, because it's on point and um, to me it never gets old. It's always gonna be helpful. Yeah. So personally, what I'm expecting here with USD JPY, I'm expecting it to retest over here, run up all the way to retest what it broke out. So if this low doesn't get it and this low area doesn't get it, then it will most definitely come up to here and fall again. But I will honestly not um, be taking any bullish trades. So for those of you who are, if you're gonna buy, there would be a take profit one and there would be a take profit two. If this thing makes, like, if this is a high, right, and price goes down, breaks the high, let me just throw it out. So if this is a high, price breaks down, runs down, goes up. If price does something like this, then I'll be interested in taking a buy. But if price is just gonna like run one way, nah. If price if price just does this, nah, then I'm not interested in taking that buy. Then I'm not interested because that thing can turn around at any time. I would want a trusted piece of market structure that will show me why price is moving upwards. And up until it does that, I will not be looking at USD JPY for buys. I would rather be waiting to take sales on it. Um, the next one would be USD CHF. I think this story is self-telling here because I was expecting support to be offered over there. But let's just take a look at the bigger picture quickly. So as you guys can see, we've been stuck with concerning with DCHF. We've been stuck in this consolidation zone, um, like since forever. So for me, yep, that would be the high points, and then for me, this would be the low points. Let me just include let me just include this low. I'm sure I'm not violating. Yes, I'm not violating price too much over there. So, um, one thing that we can note, and I think I mentioned this last week in last week's Skype call as well, is that one thing that can be mentioned is the fact that the dollar is getting weak. So that breakout there just spoke to, and it's not that the Swiss franc is now getting strong, right? It's just that the dollar is weakening. That's literally it. It's just that the dollar is weakening. So what I am expecting, I'm expecting price to go up to this level, and fall from that. Why am I so comfortable with expecting a fall from this level? The fact that price was previously there, shot up, came there, shot up again. So right now the roles are reversed, and with the roles being reversed, I'm expecting price to go to there, and why is it not showing the same thing here? Yeah. So I'm expecting honestly price to go, and as you can see, price went down actually, and then it started running up again. So I would expect price to go to there, gets there, as you can see here, it has rejected that area before, and I would expect it to do so again so that I can sell. So, last but not least, and before I go, one thing to note is here that the dollar index is speaking or is hinting at a dollar that's weakening. But then again, it is also reaching a support level that's been tested multiple times. So on that note, I'm really gonna pay attention to my dollar index because I do not want to be stuck in a trade where I'm not making money. So the last one is the pound against the dollar. So on a weekly basis, what's important to note is that we've had a resistance area. Price came to it previously and then dropped. It dropped so hard that it dropped below the first high ever since price drop. And yes, we can say this is high. The structure actually constitutes this to be a high due to the fact that it's two candles at least, right? But if I'm gonna place my level on here, then I will only have this touch. I will not have this. But also, if you put it this way, there's a level of confluence there. And that is probably why price rushed down. So, in the sense of GBP USD, as you guys can see, it's running towards that area. Here's a engulfing candle. And for me, I'm just going to be patient and I'm just going to react to price once gets to this area. What I'm actually hoping would happen is I'm hoping it would push price further down because the last lows has been out. These lows has also been taken out, but okay, these highs has also been taken out, but these are not significant highs. When we're talking significant highs, we are talking a high like this, high like this, high like this. Those are significant, and price hasn't gone close to it yet. So I am really expecting a turnaround somewhere here. If not, the buy would not be uh, the buy would be a strange thing. Let me just respect my my loss, my loss low is this area over, and yeah, that is just I get that is just why this thing started so rapidly. It's because yes, I based it on here, but if you look at previously, we have a confluent support, we have a support over here, and it's a last high. So This is a really strong, and this is just why it's important for me to go, and for you guys to go to a weekly level at least once or twice a month because weekly are in as well. So on the note, on this further note, we can um just have so expect a run all the way till there. But like I told you guys, I would wait for sell. But I'm not exclusively just waiting on sell. The break can also happen where we'll be making moves to the upside. And when that happens, I want to be ready for those moves. Uh, so that was the last setup there. Do you guys have any questions? No questions. Razia, do you perhaps have a question?
Ja, ik wil net gou vir iets vra. Last week toe het jy Euro Jeep JPY gedoen. En nou ek verstaan nie daai nie. Ek sien as in die week se analysis nie.
Yeah, the reason why Euro JPY is not added into this week's analysis is because it hasn't quite reached that level yet. So when it gets to this area, that is when I will be looking at it due to the fact that um, these levels have already been reached before, right? And now where price is right now, it's blocked in this level. So I don't know at this point right now if price will be breaking up or if it will be breaking down. So if it's gonna break up, and it does this, if it does that, then I will most definitely be interested in taking Euro JPY. But then in the same breath, it can do something like this as well. So concerning Euro JPY, after after price broke out of these two zones, I would expect it to do some things like this, and only because these levels has been retested multiple times, or at least twice. Let me rather say that those levels has been tested at least twice. So now these are what I would be looking at for for Project Pure. What I'm not gonna overlook also is the fact that price broke out of this and already confirmed for the downward move. So just seeing that makes me more favorable for this move now. So because of that, I am favoring a downward move, but I am gonna have to wait for price to confirm it before I do anything else. Is is that 100s? Do you understand my response?
Yes.
100%. Kelvin, any questions from you, my good man? Are you
I'm
good?
good, bro. All good. All good.
Okay, so I guess everyone is cool now. Um, I will be updating the group shortly on these pairs, but yeah, like I say every week, the guys that missed this call, they just miss some hectic information. So if I don't update the group tonight, because what I'm gonna do now, mouth is so dry. I'm gonna eat first now, and then I will see how I feel after I've eaten. Maybe if I like have energy and stuff, then I will update the group on the setup that we did right now, and then you guys can just copy it. But if I do not do it tonight, then I am most definitely doing it tomorrow morning first. So thank you for joining tonight. And Wednesday, we will have another session. This Wednesday, I was just really tired. And I was not going to sit in front of Skype half as tired, giving you guys half as work. So, yeah, I just waited until my energy levels was good so that I can come and do wholesome, proper work that everyone understands because what I've noticed is that it's important for me to explain things on a inner level and not explain it from my experience because my experience involves a lot of shortcuts, a lot of not shortcuts per se, but it's just that I will catch on things easier and I will overlook things that will maybe um, occupy the mind of a beginner. So that is just why I have these sessions because as time goes on, you will see what is important for us to use and what we can totally avoid when we are analyzing the markets. Thank you. Thank you for joining. And I will most definitely see you guys Wednesday for Wednesday session again. Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.